Yakuza, a series that has been telling the grimy and glitzy stories of the Japanese underworld for over a decade now to wild popularity, in its home country at least. Let's see how the game evolved. 2005, Yakuza. Known as Ryuga Gotoku or Like a Dragon in Japan, a diamond in the rough. While it had a stiff combat system and questionable English voice work, there was a glimmer in how fantastic the storytelling and world building were. The Yakuza series hadn't yet hit its stride. Though for all its problems, the Yakuza is a solid experience that created a template the series still follows to this day. 2006, Yakuza 2. A major improvement over the first game and one of the best titles in the entire Yakuza series, where the combat is heavily improved, more enjoyable action sequences, two cities to explore, and a key part of what made it such a memorable experience is that it offers the best story in the entire series. 2008, Like a Dragon Arrives. A spin-off game that shows minimal evolutions from the first two episodes, except for the new item storage system, which allows access to an unlimited number of items from save points. 2009, Yakuza 3. An action RPG in a very similar vein to the critically acclaimed Shenmue series. Yakuza 3 is the game that has the potential to fill the void that the much-loved Shenmue fell behind but fails to do so due to some outdated mechanics and poor design decisions. 2010, Yakuza 4. A game that has everything from going on dates with the lovely hostess to bashing the heads of street punks. Yakuza 4 is the first game in the series to feature multiple playable characters and only game where Kiryu is playable and he does not fight the final battle. 2010, Black Panther Like a Dragon New Chapter. A game that was released exclusively in Japan. Unique to this game compared to the other fighting games is the fact that there is no health UI present in the combat. Health can be seen through the pause menu. The game has a stamina mechanic. The more you attack, run, and dodge, the more tired the player gets. 2011, Yakuza Dead Souls brings the acclaimed Yakuza series into the increasingly popular world of zombie games. That means criminals in clean suits battling the undead, and it's as wild as it might sound. 2012, Yakuza 5. This time the Yakuza world has expanded massively, including 5 distinct cities, with 3 of which are new to the series and players barely spend any time in Kamurocho this time around. Each section of the game is set in a new city, and it means players will explore their city as their story plays out, featuring the highest number of open-world playable maps with a total of 5 set across various parts of Japan. 2014, Like a Dragon Ishin. Despite being the second Like a Dragon series spin-off set in the samurai era instead of modern-day Japan, this game is unrelated to Like a Dragon Arrives, which was released in 2008 for the PlayStation 3. 2015, Yakuza 0, prequel to the franchise taking place 7 years before the beginning of the first game, in addition to the recreational areas and restaurants where you can play darts or pool and partake in different types of alcohol. (2016) Yakuza Kiwami. Being a remake of the first Yakuza game, Yakuza Kiwami entirely foregoes the combat systems of the original game. Its combat is largely similar to the prequel Yakuza 0, adding more depth to the fighting system. Yakuza 6: The Song of Life. There are so many arguments to the game that it might even feel a bit jarring. The most significant improvement that comes with Yakuza 6 is the new Dragon engine. You can now enter and exit buildings and fights with no loading times. The graphics and animations are much more fluid as well. 2017 Yakuza Kiwami 2. Players can revisit the saga of Kazuma Kiryu and his world of organized crime in Yakuza Kiwami 2, an enhanced remake of the original PlayStation 2 hit Yakuza 2. (2018) Fist of the North Star Lost Paradise. Battling is a huge part of Lost Paradise as Ken takes on literally hundreds upon hundreds of enemies while on his dangerous quest. Although very similar, almost identical to Yakuza in concept, the FOTNS fights grow repetitious quickly and lack its brethren's variety. (2018) Yakuza Online. This game was released on Android and iOS devices in Japan. There's never been a Western release outlined for Yakuza Online. The reason for that is that the game design is based strongly on the Japanese market and players. 2018 Judgement. Originally titled Judge Eyes in Japan and Asia, a game of violence where you play as a detective instead of a criminal. You will often have street fights with various gang members since you are investigating murder scenes. There is obviously death and blood, as well as violent and grisly images of crime scenes. 2020 Like a Dragon features two massive changes compared to all of the previous main installments. It is the first game to not feature Kazuma Kiryu as a playable character, and also game's combat is now changed into a turn-based RPG rather than a real-time beat-em-up like the previous games. 2021 Lost Judgement, a sequel to the previous title Judgement. On the surface, combat has changed even less than investigations in Lost Judgement, but appearances can be deceiving. Pretty much every mechanic scenes in the original's brawler-style combat has been expanded and improved. This new style, dubbed the Snake style, features a concentrated flurry of blows and not only adds a greater sense of diversity to the combat, but also works great for countering enemies. Like a Dragon Ishin. Set to launch in 2023, Like a Dragon Ishin offers more than just a remake of the 2014 title, as it was known in Japan, never released in the West. It will be built on Unreal Engine 4, marking a first for Ryuga Gotoku. It is stated that this will lead to significant visual improvements and a quicker development schedule down the road. Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Gaiden will be a smaller scale game than the main entries into the Yakuza series, and will return to the action-adventure brawling gameplay of earlier games rather than the RPG combat of Yakuza Like a Dragon. Gaiden is currently set for a 2023 release on Xbox, PlayStation and PC. This game will follow the story of former gangster Kiryu Kazuma from the events of Yakuza 6, The Song of Life up until Like a Dragon 8. Like a Dragon 8. Also known as Yakuza 8, this game continues the series' directions with turn-based RPG combat for its core gameplay. The story has dual protagonists starring both Ichiban and Kiryu as they'll be working together. The scale of the game is really large, it's going to be the largest game to date. It will launch in early 2024. Well, that's it for today's video. If you enjoyed watching this video, please give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more uploads like this. I'll see you again in the next video.